Oculus Rift is a next-generation virtual reality headset, and of course, someone, most likely a Japanese guy, I'm pretty sure it is, connected it to a sex machine. Let's take a look. Oh, there's a lot there. Okay, so the device that the robot is holding is called a Tenga, which is a Japanese masturbation device. And obviously, if he was in the privacy of his own home, his penis would be in that thing, and there wouldn't be a bunch of people gawking at him, I assume. Now, there's a lot of interesting things about this, because part of this, it goes to like Japanese images of sexuality, because they have a cartoon which almost looks like a child, but they have a lot of like, you know, the anime stuff and all that. So we can get rid of that part for now.
Yeah.
Robot sex, it's coming. Will you partake?
Well, I mean, if a robot could do cunnilingus properly, that might be interesting.
Well, you just made the slogan, robot sex, it's coming. You just made the whole slogan for the entire industry, so they owe you money.
Yeah,
right? They owe you money.
That's funny.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing. You can argue either way. You could say, look, this is going to make people strive for less intimacy. This is going to make men less likely to want to impress a woman and have a girlfriend if they could sit home and stick their dick in some weird Japanese anime jerk-off machine. Fine. But this is where it's headed, because we are people, and people like sex, and whether we like it or not, that's one of our huge drives, is to innovate stuff for sexuality. So if people are surprised or want to stop it, good luck, because there's no stopping this once this starts.
And not this is not for everybody, clearly. You know, I mean, not everyone buys the blow-up doll and goes home and screws that, you know, so.
Not everybody does, really.
No, I'm sorry, not everybody.
It's also vibrators. Most women own or have owned at some point a vibrator or something like that, and that does not make them not engage in relationships with man, and that could be first seen as the first type of robot sex. This is a battery-powered, they probably used to plug them in or something back in the day. This is an energy-powered, non-human something that most women have interacted with at some point in their life, that people will say, oh, doesn't that make them want to be less intimate? And no, that didn't make that happen.
Is there a difference between men and women with this? Going back to our last story about women and porn.
There may be, because I think for women, being able to please ourselves in that way has been very empowering for women sexually, and it was part of the sexual revolution. And women have been doing it for thousands of years. And I think men were a little jealous of that, actually, you know, that we could, you know, replace them in some way. But like you said, it's not a replacement. I mean, if it becomes a replacement, I think you have a bit of a pathology and you need to go see somebody.
But it will. I mean, there's going to be an X amount of people that it absolutely will.
For sure. And this is part of that, you know, I mean, there's always an X amount of people who are on the pathological side of everything. You know, eating Oreos, there's a pathological version of that. So, an eating Oreo sex robot machine. I'm feeling something here. Wait a minute. No.
So feed you and fuck you at the same time, and that's it. America was one in every home. Drop the microphone on all inventions, and just that's it.
And we are the Matrix then. Just plug us in, and we're good to go.
Pretty much. You know, I remember when I was like 12 or something, I was in Toronto, and I at some like future exhibit or something, and they had virtual reality, and I put like a thing on, and I walked in this like virtual world, and I thought this was the most amazing thing ever.
Cool.
And I thought it was going to be like 3 years later, like we were all going to be doing this. But virtual reality really hasn't quite caught on.
It's still pretty clunky.
But so is it going to take sex? Because you know the porn industry does do everything. It took film to VHS, right? And then it took VHS to DVD. So it is going to be sex that drives.
We care more about sex than we do walking in a virtual reality of trees or being at the Grand Canyon, or you know, the simulated Eiffel Tower is nowhere near as cool as a simulated hand job.
Because we are still an animal species, and sex is really important for the species. I mean, it is our #1 drive, is to keep the species going. And we found a lot of interesting ways to play around those edges, but that's the bottom line. Sex does drive everything, after all. Freud was right. Damn it!
But also these machines, this is what I'm thinking. Like, right now, if you come home and like your boyfriend is in the middle of masturbating, maybe he just like shuts the laptop or throws his phone away and just kind of covers it up. Or if your mom walks in on you, you're like, oh shit, and cover it with a pillow. what do you do now with this contraption? You can't you're gonna be like, honey, I'm holy shit, and they're like in this thing with Suki, the Japanese anime thing is up on the screen jerking them all. Exactly, this is like exactly. This just makes it a lot more. It's a lot more complicated just to simply get off when you put this
with
in
the
there.
technology, you could have built-in warning systems, cameras,
like tripping
infrared,
alarms.
trip alarms, all kinds of things to protect you in your little sex dome.
There's wow. Really, it's just a big wow for me. Like, wow.
All right,
I think we dropped the microphone at a machine that feeds you and fucks you.
That's pretty
That's
much
probably
it.
it.
You're pretty much done there.